So if you want to fix it with a nice inlay into the bottom of the bowl, then you can actually make a decorative pattern inside the bowl out of cutting 4 times on the bandsaw. If you're looking down inside the bowl and you've got a hole in the bottom of your bowl, you've had a problem, there might be a knot hole, a split, a fault. What I'm going to show you how to do is to do an inlay in the bottom of the bowl, and we make up 4 squares. We cut them on the bandsaw. This is 4 squares like this, just off a piece of grain. And when you look at the grain, it starts to become quite exciting and quite matched. See that there? And we edge glue them, we hot glue gun it to a faceplate, and then we turn a circle out of it. It might seem a little bit complicated to you, but just bear with me. There's the circle, with all those 4 quarters matched, and that goes into the bowl. While you've got it in the chuck, and you insert that into there, with that pattern there, tell me if you've not got it. You got it, eh? I'll show you.
You repainted it in?
Yes. So this is all looking really smart in here from these matched quarters. And you turn a rebate and you glue it in. So you're making a real feature into the bottom of the bowl over your little problem that's in the centre. So by looking at the sketch there and looking at this piece of remu, what you want to find, and just bear with me, it'll take a little bit of explaining, what you want to find is a piece of timber that has got some quarter colour. And what I mean from that, can you see that? Is, like what I've got on the board, is this sort of business here. And then what you want to do is you want to mark it 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you see my pencil marks? Mark it 4. Let's cut them off on the bandsaw. Then they go 1, 2, 3, 4. See the pattern? It's a simple way of really getting something that's really, really uniquely different. And the trick is to get a marking pattern of something that has got a quarter feature. This is a reasonable example, but you'll be able to find a better example looking like that. See that? And it's like there's the center of the tree over there, if you know what I mean. Just look for something like that on the end grain. So you can, on your faceplate with a piece of sandpaper, and put that in your lathe, and you can clean up the edges, right? Then you're going to edge glue them into 4 pieces, a little bit like patchwork. You edge glue them, and then you're going to glue them into 4 pieces. Then the 4 pieces are going to glue to a piece of just custom board. It's not as difficult as you may think. Then you edge glue them, face glue them to that, and then cut your circle. Right, and you cut your circle, whatever diameter size you want. Then you've got your bowl in your other chuck or your chuck, and then turn the recess and glue it in. You follow that? The reason why it's just appealing is it's a bit more exciting than having the piece that goes in the middle just with some grain that sort of looks like that, just as one circle. It looks like a mosaic, really planned quarter cutting piece of balanced grain, if that makes sense to you.
How did you get it from your faceplate? It's glued on.
You just put moderate amounts of, it's 4 little dots of hot glue gun in behind there, and you can slide your wife's kitchen knife in under there and just cut the glue. Do that when she's not looking. So you can just, you don't, it's not going to come off. You'll be just turning it gently, facing it and cutting the edge off it. And it'll make a true circle, and you can just pop it in underneath, and you'll just cut the hot glue gun. Yeah. Then you've got a beautiful circle that'll hold on there. You don't need much hot glue. It's a good question that you ask, and I'm glad you asked it. So just 4 little dots of hot glue gun on there, and just try and centralise the cross in the middle. If we've got that, yeah? You got that, eh?
Yeah.
It's a wonderful way of turning a bit of a problem in the centre, because we've all had issues in there, into something that really looks, oh wow, look at the detail.
After
And
you've stuck it into the bowl,
mhm.
would you then return?
Yes. You just come across with your gouge or cup tool, whatever tool you're comfortable with, to then conform into the back of the bowl. So you want to leave a little bit of thickness. You might be more comfortable at 8mm or 10mm. But then it will just turn your circle and then keep fitting, and a little bit of draw on the sides, and just glue it in, and all will be well.
So when you say draw, is that like...
Just on the sides, just a little bit of angle on it, so you get a nice clip fit on the glue. And I use tight bond glue, which is this one here. We've all seen this before. And then you can get a very good clean edge with no staining. And it can just make a problem in the centre of your ball just go away. But you'll be shocked at the type of patterns that you can get as you fold out when you're looking for a bit of quarter grain like that. Get something striking, have a play around with some pine or macrocarpa or other timbers, or have a play around with it, and you'll see what I mean. But don't forget to number it. And then you get, there's my number 1, and there's my number 2, and you just play around with it like a jigsaw, and you'll see the patterns emerge, and then you'll really see what can happen. You've only used that much wood off that there. And if you get a nice piece with an effective stripe through it up the quarter, you get 5 inlays out of that, look. You follow that?
Also tried with like twisting it so that they're not all matched up and like
Yeah, absolutely, Bonnie, you can. Fold them out and say, oh, I like it this way, or this way, or this way. Look at that. And just chuck it around.
Yeah.
And you think, oh, I like the corner coming out from that way, or I like the corner opposite, and this might be inverted. You might be that way, that way, that way, that way. See that? It still looks striking. And the pattern will jump out for you. This is just one piece of Remu that I grabbed, but you'll see it just gets electric in there. It looks so even. You look at it and think, well, gee, how did you do that? And your joins, you get really tidy because it's all the same piece of wood. It's all the same colour. It's all the same, right next to each other. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that because everyone has a little wee problem down the bottom, but you're putting wood back into the product. You might put the inlay down the bottom, and then you might put one of those rings up the top. You know, on top of it, and you've really jumped the bowl. It might be not perhaps your best bowl, but by putting that in the bottom and a ring on the top, you've made it probably a better feature than just another bowl with a hole in the middle. Okay. Yeah.
Sure, cross section of the ball would be with the bottom piece that you're talking about.
Yes.
On the ball.
Yes. So good point. So a cross section, if we can see, is that going to pick it up here? Or?
Yeah. Yep.
So really, the bowl itself comes around like that, down like that, and your inlay is down in there, and your wall thickness, whatever wall thickness you choose. Is that a good, quick enough job of sketching it?
Yep.
And then your chuck bite, probably maybe just with a little bit of draw on the sides down into there. It's a pretty rough sketch, but see what I mean?
Good idea.
That will just house down into there, and it'll be wonderful. All will be good. It's a nice little challenge. I'd like some people to have a go at that, please, and let me know how you get on. But source the right piece of wood and have a, fiddle around with what you've got. One would look absolutely stunning, and I bought it to show you. Wouldn't that look good? Look at the dots in it. That's green kauri end grain. That would do some nice quarters, whichever way you look at that. There's actually a better piece here. This one. Yeah, look at this with the dots in it, see? That's end grain. There's where I'm going to cut them. So my pieces will be cut off on the end. Look at that. And you'll be surprised, particularly if you can get it across the quarter like semicircles, but you want a dominant action in the grain. Something that with a bit of feature in it.
You know, iron would be
Yes,
Could you use end grain?
that is end grain.
Anyway,
Oh, yeah.
That is end grain.
But not cut in 4 pieces, just round.
Yes, but it's going to look very boring
Okay.
because it's very, they're just you're looking, you know, there's no actual set organising to it. It's just looking like the end of a branch. You could put a branch with a circular, it'd tend to look a bit like an eye, I think, you know, but I think you can push it for better than that. And if you really think about it, by ripping a nice strip of ebony, this is a piece of ebony, I paid $80 for this, and you can see I use it sparingly. You can put a strip of ebony cut carefully up on the sander, and you can put a strip of ebony through here, and through here, and then before you clamp it together, and just, it would absolutely look stunning. So put the time into it, and then clash it with the timber, and on the bottom of the bowl goes ebony, kauri, whatever timber you've used. So any feature timber you can easily add into that cross. Avoid putting a power dot right in the middle. Don't do that, please, don't do that.
But you can only do that right on the bottom of the bowl, isn't it?
cedar.
You can't do it on the side though.
You can't do it where?
On the side.
There's nothing you can't do. Don't challenge me. What do you mean? Put it into the side here?
Well, if you got a hole in the side of the bowl.
Here.
Yeah.
I could show you a myriad of other ideas that you could do with the side of the bowl,
Okay.
but we'll leave that till another time.